Hi everyone, this is Chrissy Tina, and I'm going to kind of depart from my devotionals and my other little informational blogs, and I think I'm going to start a series now about my Walt Disney World memories. I'm really excited about that, by the way, because I love Disney. My first memory from my first trip ever actually started before we left. My first time to Disney was in February of 2007. And my manager, my supervisor, and myself was all going to go down. The night before we left, here in Ohio, we had an ice storm. So we were all really, really super nervous that we were going to get to the airport and our flight was going to be canceled and there'd be no trip. So we left and got to my manager's house, and then he drove us all to the airport in Cleveland. And we had to get there really early because of security, of course. So we stopped off in Burger King in the airport and grabbed a sandwich, and we were sitting there. And I can remember being super nervous because I had only flown twice before. A trip down to Georgia and then right back to Ohio. That was it. And it had been several years. So I was really nervous about that flight. And it didn't help that we'd had the bad weather the day before. So they started boarding and everything was going on time. Well, nobody told me that after a snowstorm that the runway can get a little bumpy. All I remember is we're taxiing out, and it's not too bad when we were taxiing, but we get on the runway itself, and we start taking off, and we're bouncing all over, and I don't know what it was, but my supervisor looks at me, and all of a sudden you hear her scream in the middle of the plane, "Chris, breathe!" And all I can remember is looking at her in the eye and going, "I am breathing." And I guess I had a death grip on, and my manager and the other supervisor that went, forgot to tell you about, turns around in their seat because they're in front of us, and they're laughing. The guy that's sitting next to my supervisor, because I got the window seat, he's just cracking up. So we finally, we get in the air and it all evens out, and I'm going, yeah, it would have been nice if somebody would have warned me. Nobody warned me. Nope. So here I am on this flight, watching out the window. We finally get down to Florida. Beautiful weather, of course. And we land. And then we got lost looking for the Magical Express. Turns out that they'd moved it from the last time they'd been there. So that was a while. So we finally got to the Magical Express, got all signed in, went to where they told us to go, and we got on the Magical Express. Now, if you've never went to Disney and you're planning a trip, let me tell you, you want to take the Magical Express. It's so less stressful. You don't have to worry about getting lost, especially if you're directionally challenged like I can be. It takes a lot of stress out. Somebody else does the driving. Of course, you have to go to other hotels sometimes first, but it gives you a chance to see other hotels on your way. You don't go in, but you can see the outside of them, and it's kind of neat. And then we finally get to our hotel. Now, I was staying at Port Orleans Riverside. And there's another place. If you can go a little it's a little more expensive than the value, but it's well worth the money. It's nice. It was quiet. It was gorgeous. And I love the architecture. And then we got ourselves all checked in, and we went ahead and our rooms were ready. Surprise, surprise. We weren't expecting that. So we went to our rooms, quickly, did what we had to do, and I grabbed my fanny pack, which for me works really well. I know a lot of people use as book bags, but for me, all I really do is I grab my phone, if I'm using that for a camera, or my digital camera, because I usually just have a small one. Just one that I can quickly snap some pictures. And a very small wallet or change purse to put my money in. And key, and and mine has a little zipper part on the side where I put the key for the room safe, because I only take so much money into the park with me, because otherwise I will shop until I'm broke the first day, and that would not be good. And then we went ahead and went down to, at the time, it wasn't called Disney Springs. It was called Downtown Disney. And so we went there. And it was really cool. I loved it. Loved all the stores. Loved the ambiance. And it was really cool. And then we finally came back. And we ate at the food court and then went to bed. Because the next morning was going to be really busy. But that was our first day. And that was my real first memory. And I really can't describe the feeling of driving onto property and then seeing your hotel for the very first time. It's indescribable. Your mouth just drops wide open and you're going, I can't believe it. I'm here. So that's my first memory. I hope you join me for more of my Disney memories. And I might throw a few tips in there along the way while I'm dropping off memories. Thank you for watching. Please comment, subscribe, and like the video. Thank you. Bye-bye.